Okay, and here we are again with another episode of 90s Movie Classics. This is Tim.
I'm Andrew.
And today we are watching 1999's She's All That.
Or rather, reviewing 99, She's All That.
Indeed we are. Although it would be fun to rewatch.
Oh, indeed, as it was. Oh, no, spoiler!
Oh, spoiler alert. Okay. This was my choice from last week, and so I will do the summary of what it was all about. It's not a complex plot, safe to say. Freddie Prinze Jr. is our main character, set in a high school. Opens with Freddie Prinze Jr. getting broken up with by the impending prom queen, the cool girl of the school. They've all gone off on the summer break, and she comes back and breaks up with him. He responds to this in the way that you would expect someone to respond to, by making a bet that he can make any girl in the school prom queen. Cue his best friend Paul Walker choosing Lainey Boggs, played by Rachael Leigh Cook, as the target of the bet. So Freddie Prinze Jr. needs to make her the prom queen in 6 weeks in order to win the bet. To the shock of everyone who watches the movie, they end up falling in love, have a few heartbreaks along the way, some orchestrated dancing at the prom, and ultimately ends with Lainey having a classic 90s glow up, takes off the glasses, and suddenly everyone realizes she's scorching hot. And that's pretty much the summary. Would that cover it?
I think that is a pretty decent summation, with the fact that there's a supporting cast of jocks and babes at the school that move the plot along, such as it is.
Indeed. Let's start with overall impressions. We did establish on the last occasion that you've actually watched it quite recently, and I think you gave a few hints that it was pretty good. How did the reviewing go?
Look, I did watch it. I did enjoy it. I think She's All That is like a middling sports player that has a low ceiling but a high floor. It's never going to be an all-time classic, but it is rewatchable again and again, and it'll always give you a solid watch. So I think that was my view again.
I think that is a very good way to sum it up. I thought it didn't make a lick of sense. That you could list dozens of problems with it, which we will do. But yet, despite that, for reasons that we'll also go into, I found myself really quite enjoying it.
I think that's a fairly accurate statement. It's like, and I would have a hard time with someone not finding it, it's amusing in points, it's likable, basic boxes ticked.
Yeah, exactly. You can absolutely criticize it. Easy to criticize, but easy to love.
I would go along with that.
Well, let's go with the positives first then.
I think it's eminently quotable. Mm-hmm. And whether it's quotable because we did see it at that age and it lodged in our subconscious, but it tries very hard to be quotable by being as self-consciously cool as possible.
Yes.
So we have some dissed and dismissed. We have some who's the latest rebound skank. We have supersize my balls. We have there's line after line after line in there, which it is difficult to fault. I could go on with many more, but yeah, very quotable.
Yeah, and look, I would agree with that, and similar but subtly different. I thought it was really quite funny in the sense of, some of these movies you get a lot of chuckles and a lot of smiles. I thought there was some genuine laugh out loud moments in this.
Yeah.
The breaking up of Freddie Prinze at the start, when and the entire school was totally silent, all sort of Western style, and everyone, the minute he turns around, everyone goes back to what they were doing. I thought that was good. And then when it all
echoing of the scene with her being broken up,
exactly, brilliant. And Taylor generally was genius.
I actually agree. That was one of my highlights. And my partner, credit to her on this one, called that out and spot on. Like the Jodi Lynn O'Keefe, who I'm basically not aware of in anything else.
No.
Just picture perfect bad girl, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the rare characters whose character at least made sense in the movie. Yes,
more or less.
Yes. And just the great moment when which I think was also an echo of the breaking up, when tragic moment when Lainey discovers that it was all a bet. Oh, you didn't really think you were cool for real, did you? Oh, you did? That's so cute. Brilliant. Other positives. I thought the main characters were generally very charming. Fundamentally, Freddie Prinze Jr., as you said in the preview, limited range, but I think his range of being a generally nice guy is pretty solid.
He exceeded my expectations. I thought he did vacant and vapid quite well. Yeah, let's say great casting.
Yeah.
And I don't think Freddie Prinze maybe ever crosses over to great acting, but if you put him in the right role, he was suitable for said role. So good work.
I think that's probably right. And Rachael Leigh Cook, absolute champion and really likable. Surprising she has not gone on to do more. I know she was in Josie and the Pussycats.
She was
mention,
indeed.
Which
also
controversially,
Antitrust, I think.
Oh, yeah.
She was in that.
I was going to say I don't think controversially I've actually seen Josie and the Pussycats. I know everyone says it's great. I've got nothing against it. I've just not actually seen it.
Note for the future.
Yeah, indeed. Although I think it is 2001.
Oh no,
sorry, I have to different podcast. But I thought she was really, really good. And even though she's still around doing stuff, but I'm surprised she didn't become more of a star because she was really good in this.
I think I did check this, and I was reminded in our earlier listening. I think she is in a lot of Christmas movies.
Oh, well.
Now does the I'm gorgeous but 45 or whatever she is, and that just plug and play in 10 of the same movies over the last 10 years.
Oh well, we've all got to pay the bill somehow, I guess.
I do think we need to call out Clea Duvall.
Yep.
Of course, of the greatest Buffy episode of all time fame, as well as varying other movies.
We love Clea. Yep.
The recommendation that she kill herself because she'd be more famous posthumously.
Brilliant.
And then the vomiting everywhere at the party.
Yes.
Owned the stage and screen when she was on there.
Absolute hero. Completely agree.
I thought the cutting back to the past, to the spring break scenes, I thought that was quite cleverly done somehow.
Yes.
And especially with the person sort of narrating across the scene, it was a bit of a surprisingly interesting directorial dynamic for a movie of that nature.
Yes, agreed. I thought the art show scene that lady...
The hacky sack?
Yeah, the hacky sack. That was good.
Can't let it drop, man.
I thought that was and good and felt, in a sense, little out of place in the movie somehow.
I agree with that, yeah.
But it was good. I mean, it does lead into one of the negatives that we'll get into, but yes, I thought the scene itself was actually really good.
They actually let it run for quite a while.
Yeah.
I think that's why it was out of place, because you were like, this is clever, but movies like this don't normally have the patience to give it a full 90 seconds because their audience is, cotton candy and doesn't have that kind of attention.
Yep.
And it rewarded the viewer that stuck it out for
It
that
did.
90 seconds.
It did. Who didn't go and get a coffee? 60 seconds in, I've seen enough of this hacky sack. I'm out of here. Yep.
I think the music was time appropriate. We'll obviously get to the seminal prom scene, but I forgot that they busted out a bit of Sixpence None the Richer Kiss Me of Dawson's Creek fame. That, you've got to nail a good romantic scene with a bit of 90s fluff music, and it went across well.
I wrote down the pube scene was gold.
Yeah.
Which,
we'll discuss the pube scene, but
oh look, it's just this absurdity. I mean, it fits right in the both good and bad section. It was funny and entertaining, whilst also just utterly ridiculous. Like the fact that these guys treat him as if he's like Joe Pesci from Goodfellas or like John Wick or something. Is like,
dude, just leave.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like eating pubes because Freddie Prinze Jr. tells them to. You're like, is he that scary, really? And then the ending the scene, just when you think he couldn't be any cooler, the turning around and going, is everything copacetic? Yes.
What does that even mean? That was like a 90s expression, wasn't it?
Yeah, just I think from the Ninja Turtles,
maybe.
My goodness. It was just cool, I think. Another word for cool. Is it copacetic? or is it okay, I think?
I think it's something like
I'm
that.
not sure that I ever said it myself, but
I have to
I wasn't
call
cool
out.
enough to say it, obviously.
It was also disgusting. Disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
I said I watched it 18 months ago. Didn't bother me at all. I thought it might bother me watching it a second time in short frequency. That particular scene, I was like, I do not need to see someone eating pubes.
Yep.
But anyway, yes. I think I have to call out the Kevin Pollak. Being the adult in the teen movie can be challenging.
Can be an unrewarding role.
Yep. Nailed it. I thought, especially the Jeopardy scene,
yes,
where he gets every answer wrong.
Yep.
And what is dinner?
Yep.
No. What is dinner? No.
And then when all those people are in the house, which I think is the same scene, and he suddenly looks up and says, "Who are all these people?" And they've been around the whole time. He was very good. And even though I will get to his final speech to Lainey in the negatives column, but he delivered it as well as it could be delivered, albeit that it was utterly absurd.
That's probably most of my highlights.
I thought Anna Paquin was really good, and I actually kind of remember this. I think this was her first sort of semi-adult movie after obviously being very successful in winning an Oscar for The Piano.
Yeah.
And so I kind of remember at the time thinking, wow, she's actually
She
quite
grew
cool.
up.
Yeah, and being a little bit surprised in this movie that she played such a small role before remembering that really this was
her first adult
movie. So,
although I will also come to her in her negatives, not exactly for her own fault, but
and also note the callback to one of our previous movies that Eldon Henson in the same year as filming Idle Hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he was it's a Twinkie Light, which is another great quote.
Yes.
I think that's probably about all I got. You got anything else?
I think that's just about it. Let me have a look. I made specific reference to her falafel hat being genius.
I had a note on her hat as well.
Excellent.
Timeless hat.
We haven't actually mentioned Matthew Lillard, and I'm not sure if you're going to put him completely in the negative column, but I thought he was...
He's going to come up in both again.
Yeah. I mean, agreed. I thought he was perfect for the role, delivered it well, but also, I mean, he was supposed to be an incredibly annoying character, and he was. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
It was one of those problems.
Yeah, he couldn't have been in it for much more than he was without me wanting to turn off the TV or fast forward.
Yeah, I did think it was one of those where not every scene hit, and he was clearly trying to be funny in every scene, had no straight-laced moments.
Yeah.
So therefore, on the misses were misses.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Oh, we haven't even mentioned the dance scene from the prom yet, which, look, I got to say, it was not quite as life-changing as I remember it. I still can't completely understand my level of obsession with it at the time, but it was good. It was good.
It was the great untouchable, the great unknown, the final frontier. I think. Anyway,
interesting trivia from IMDb that apparently that sequence was originally not scripted and wasn't going to be filmed. It was added in at the last minute to make the movie go for a few extra minutes. So imagine that. I could have been not doing that dance all these years other than for a once-off moment, just to put a few extra minutes in the movie.
And I seriously thought that the two songs, that song and the Kiss Me song, probably responsible for about half the box office, I reckon. Yep. So if they hadn't put that in, history would have been different, quite frankly.
Absolutely. All right, I think I've done all my positives, and there was quite a lot of them, and hence I think why overall I thought it was I liked it. But there is inevitably negatives to come along with this. Hence I think 41% critics rating, 55% public rating. Where did that 45% come from?
I mean, I thought the ending was relatively weak. It doesn't make a bunch of sense.
Yeah,
and versus some of these movies where, like, you are rooting for them because you like both of them, they're beautiful people, they belong together, and yet somehow I felt it sort of fell a little flat.
Maybe let's expand on that, because of which specific, are we talking the very, very end or the entire...
sort of not the very, very end, the joke scene with Paul Walker and Freddie Prinze at the prom, but the kind of them kind of...
The graduation, you mean?
The graduation, yeah. The kind of... When they finally got together, they were like back at the house, and some of the, I don't know, it just didn't quite line up.
Well, because the entire section, and we're going to talk about Paul Walker in a specific section, but I think the inevitable breakup and get back together just never really made sense. And as far as I can tell, they kind of broke up because he didn't want to kiss her. I think because he was feeling a bit guilty about the whole thing. That was the go. And then obviously she finds out. And so she briefly hates him, as you'd expect. But then there was no real resolution to that. I mean, she just sort of then didn't hate him. Time moved on, and they didn't go to, she went to the prom hating him.
Because someone else was worse? So, relatively speaking.
Exactly. And so, I agree. I mean, I thought, obviously, by that stage, I was rooting for them. I was going, yep, good on you. I want you to be happy. But it didn't actually make sense in any particular narrative way.
No, I wouldn't say particularly. Mm. I mean, the level of cliche, although that's what it was supposed to be, it somehow reduces the novelty factor a little bit when you know how every scene is going to go before you've watched it, basically. And I mean, that is in the category of it is what it is, but it also, I think, probably prevents it from being great.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I thought, and I'm not sure if to put these together or do them separately, but they tried to have a serious storyline for both Freddie Prinze and Rachael Leigh
Yes.
Cook, and
Yep.
neither of them even got remotely close to working. I mean, the Freddie
the
Prinze
Freddie
Jr.
Prinze ones, I thought that was a train wreck.
Oh.
The whole Dartmouth, make a decision,
Yeah.
make my decision. That was complete add-on.
And I mean, even if you could not have a more first world problem,
Oh.
I feel so sorry for you white privileged male.
Yeah.
But what a tough life.
Harvard or Yale.
Yeah, literally, that's what it was. And then, I mean, even if it could ever have worked, they just did nothing about it until suddenly the scene with his dad, where the dad's just going, mate, I don't care which college you go to, and he's like, oh, life is so hard, and it just did not work at all.
That almost felt like the scenes they put in to pad the runtime. They were that effective.
Or just sort of
And
the
hers
script
wasn't-
writing. The script writing 101 is like, well, you have to have a conflict. You have to have an internal conflict. You have to go from one place to another. I mean, yeah, as a general statement, yes, but that was not the place to go to or from.
And hers wasn't much better. The whole coming to terms with the death of her mum and finding herself as an artist
Yep.
kind of angle.
Yeah. I actually thought her storyline felt a bit more dated, as in
Right.
his was just bad. I think
Yeah.
hers was a bit more dated in the sense of, broadly speaking, her storyline was that she was putting off her life. You know, she was
Yep.
spending all her time doing art and hanging out by herself.
Looking after her family.
Exactly. All of it, when what she clearly should have been doing is going out to frat parties, getting drunk and making out with popular
It
people.
would seem so, yeah.
And I felt that you look at it, you go, she lives a great life. Like, she's enjoying herself. Obviously she lost her mum. That's tragic. But she hasn't fallen in a hole. She's got friends. She's got friends who genuinely like her. She's got hobbies that she's really good at. She's kind of smart.
Her family appears to need her support.
Yeah. Her father is lovely, and her brother's lovely, and all of these things. And somehow the moral seemed to be that she was failing at life. and like I said, that maybe that was just bad script writing, or maybe it was an era thing. Because I mean, and the other part of that, the other side of that being that she never made sense as a character. It's actually it's a miracle that she was so likable, because she just didn't make any sense. Like, she obviously, I mean, it was never explained why she was not more skeptical of what was going on.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, he gets broken up, and then that very afternoon suddenly approaches her for the first time and starts to hit on her, and she kind of almost makes a bit of a, this seems a bit suspicious.
Oh, well.
But then just completely goes along with it, and it's like, and then all her friends are really encouraging her to do it, and you're just going, sorry, does no one understand what? And then she actually seems surprised to discover it was a bet. I mean, what could you possibly have thought it was? But then it seemed to be almost the pep talk she got from her friend. It was almost along the lines of, well, this is your big chance. You can't let an opportunity like this. The most popular guy in school is talking to you, even if it is a bet or whatever. Even if it's not real, at least go along with it, sort of as if her other life is so pointless and useless that it can only possibly be recovered by getting with Freddie Prinze Jr.
And yet there was no evidence that she'd been fawning over this other life beforehand.
No, exactly. And then that similarly, as mentioned before, the Kevin Pollak, the big scene at the end when he gives her the big speech about getting into life and going out and enjoying it herself, and she's like, oh, okay. And then the fact that it wasn't even Freddie Prinze Jr. upstairs, it was Paul Walker. And I mean, the dad can't have been so dumb as to not realize that it was a different person, and that very obviously this guy was somehow taking advantage of her, yet he was still pushing her to go do it. It's like, and while I'm on this topic, I'm fired up.
You really are.
Yeah. I mean, the utter absurdity of the fact that Lainey became in line to be the prom queen. And that was obviously a big controversy because Taylor desperately wanted to be the prom queen, etc. But did you notice that at no point did Lainey make any reference to this at all? So that we were never, because surely she'd be going, I don't want to be prom queen, that's ridiculous. Like, I don't want to be up there, in front of everyone. And yet, she didn't mention it at all. So we never got to know how she felt about it.
I mean, my theory on this one is, one of my points is, do Americans, or Americans of that era, really fawn over popular kids and popular tropes that much? Is the concept that whoever we are, our deepest desire is actually to be the prom queen, irrespective of anything else? I don't think that is the case in Australia, and I don't think it was when I was that age. But this movie just takes it as read that your aspiration in life is to be a popular person to the pinnacle of high school. I think we also need to get out at the open. We flagged it in the beginning, but the fact that Rachael Leigh Cook is gorgeous.
Yep.
And it doesn't get any easier to swallow as the movie goes on. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
In that she's gorgeous at the beginning, and then she continues to be, and she continues to be, and they keep referencing like she's not. And it's just like, and
you got to at least try. Like,
exactly.
But give her some bad acne or
something.
Exactly.
Like,
give her a bad haircut. Get something to make her not ridiculously pretty and beautiful.
And you're almost watching, going, yeah, it's very reasonable, too beautiful. Oh, that's right, she's not beautiful. Sorry, I forgot again.
Exactly.
Anyway, it's just a bit. It was like,
I mean, the genius of the fact that Paul Walker could have picked any girl in the school. We'll pick the subtly beautiful girl who's a little bit awkward. Having been at school, I can pretty much guarantee there would have been some much better options for him to choose if he wanted to really win that bet.
Yes.
Look, is this the time to get into the Paul Walker? Because look, rest in peace, absolute hero, became a mega star for Fast and Furious, deserved it, absolutely. But
I think you better go there.
I have very little positive to say about him from this movie.
About Paul's performance. We need to factor in that he was supposed to be appalling. Appalling.
Well, hey. But see, look, my complaint is not. He didn't help his performance, but it's more the character.
Yep.
I genuinely don't know what his character was supposed to be. Like, what was he supposed to be, evil, or was he not? Because he seemed to flip from being kind of doing really evil things, as in just the bet to start with, and then kind of he wasn't in the movie for a fair bit, and then obviously he just completely turns on Freddie Prinze Jr. for reasons I can't quite remember, but he turns on him and obviously reveals the truth to Lainey. It's awful, and you go, okay, so he's the baddie now. But then I do not understand I've thought about it. I cannot get my head around what was going on with then trying to go after Lainey himself. I mean, was that just the next part of his somewhat inexplicable
evil
revenge?
Genius plan? I think so.
But then they kind of played it as if he was actually nice. I
think that was the masterful acting at work. Okay, that was the hidden genius in that, like, we were almost fooled that because of his, charm and baby blue eyes, but actually it was the evil plan to the next level. I think, but I agree. I thought the same thing. The kind of twists and turns in terms of, he's just trying to take her to the prom so he can do nasty things to her, or is he? But then there were some moments where, like, has he actually fallen for her? It was confusing.
Yeah, and which, and also gets back to the fact that why was Lainey going along with that side of things? Yeah. It already didn't make sense for Freddie Prinze Jr. to be chatting her up, and now it could not more obviously have been a revenge ploy. And somehow she's like, oh, well, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, I'll go to the prom with him then. Like, hang on, what?
I think also the tack-on of the Anna Paquin with the Eldon Henson, both absolute heroes, but that was almost too much of putting a bow tie on us. And, the two trusty, like, add-ons are going to fall for one another. Yeah, not sure about that. Chronically underuse of Anna Paquin.
Yeah.
In the sense of, you can see the one that's the Oscar winner there had almost nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, which is sort of what I was saying, though, that this was actually one of her first adult movies. So, yeah, in hindsight, it seems absurd, right? You think, why is she such a nothing character? But, I guess this was her. I'm not sure how old she was, but she might not have actually been an adult. Might have been sort of 16 or 17. But, yeah, sort of the first time anyone had really seen her since whatever she was, 10-year-old in the piano. I don't know.
I think we do have to reference that what Freddie Prinze did to Rachael Leigh Cook is called stalking, and bullying is sexual harassment.
Yeah.
In other ways, maybe the movie wasn't as dated as I might have expected, but that was just pretty blatant.
Yeah. Well, although, it highlights the inconsistency by the fact that the bet concept is just flat out evil. It's just an awful thing to do. But then almost from the millisecond he does it, he's just totally genuine and totally lovely. And,
it would seem so.
Yeah, well, this is the thing, right? Yeah, it's not clear whether he's... They didn't start him off as a real jock. Yeah, he actually started off nice.
Yep.
Does this inexplicably mean thing, and then just goes back to being nice. And so it's
I mean, he was struggling with the Yale versus Harvard decision.
oh, sorry,
all
I
this
forgot.
time, so,
Of course, that makes you do crazy
yeah.
things.
Yeah, it does. Like speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Video Easy or Video City? Which one was it?
And this is the thing, right? That it was really pretty unforgivable, and he didn't actually
apologise particularly at any point in time.
And didn't really do anything to recover. He just a bit more time passed. And as you say, it turned out that because Paul Walker was a bit more evil, although
cunning strategy.
Although that did also feel a bit dated. I mean, his evilness was that he'd booked a hotel because he wanted to sleep with her. I mean, is that not what everyone was trying to do at the prom? I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's most of what I had. Did you have anything particular else?
No, I think that covers my negatives. So, which leads us on to, could it be made now? What would it look like if She's All That was made now? Now, I have not watched the relatively recent He's All That.
Oh, right.
I haven't watched it. I think it's quite recent, but I don't know what that's about. But yeah, can it be made today?
I don't see a particular reason why not. I think the bet thing would be updated. That felt a bit dated, but the basic handsome guy, allegedly not pretty girl, comes pretty prom scene. I can't see why that wouldn't be done. I mean, I'm surprised there's not more of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think it can be done again. I'm sure it probably has been done again.
Probably, yeah. In fact, I think it has been. I think there's a
The Duff?
The Duff.
Yes, I can't now remember what that stands for, but I was thinking that was a very similar movie.
Similar-ish concept, I think, yeah. So yeah, I see no reason why not.
Yep, agreed.
Would I watch it again?
Would you watch it again?
I would.
Yeah.
I'll watch it. Yeah, I've probably now seen it twice in 18 months, so I'm right for a while. But yeah, I would watch it again in the right company. Very, very low effort, I think is the take home there.
It really is a movie you could put on in the background and not lose an awful lot of time. And look, obviously I'll be rewatching the Funk Soul Brothers scene over and over again.
I clearly understand what you missed.
Exactly. Right, well, I think do we have anything else to say about it?
No, I think that's a reasonable summation of the She's All That experience.
Oh, although you realise what we haven't mentioned is another bit of trivia I picked up from IMDb. That filmed at the same high school as the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie.
Oh my goodness.
And of course.
Same prom.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. And so, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, of course, making a guest appearance.
Did indeed.
We actually forget, Freddie Prinze Jr., he was in I Know What You Did Last Summer, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, okay. So, and that was before this. So I think he was...
Maybe we undersold him. It was a hot streak. It just came to a fairly dramatic
yeah, exactly. Wait, had the Buffy TV show started by then? It had, right?
97 it started. So when was this?
99.
Yeah, well, hence because Sarah Michelle Gellar was a big star. So the cameo was, oh my goodness.
Yes, because I remember that being quite a big deal, and I just couldn't remember exactly where that fitted in with things. And then, of course, it was clearly a good cameo because she ended up marrying the main star.
Oh, well, that worked out for her.
Yeah. So I think, all right, it's a generally positive experience all round.
Indeed.
What are we watching next?
It's it's an interesting choice, but I think it's one that you two will be quite excited about.
Interesting.
We're going into a genre that we have not gone into yet.
My goodness.
I think that's accurate. And the name of the genre, there's going to be an instinctual reaction, but hear me out.
Okay.
The genre is romantic comedy.
Ooh. Okay.
And the movie is The Truth About Cats and Dogs.
Ah, yeah, right. Good choice. What year is that? That is
1996.
Oh, okay. That's earlier than I thought.
Basically, Janine Garofalo, Uma Thurman. The male lead is a guy named Ben Chaplin, who you'll recognise. He's been in bits and pieces. Mm-hmm. Jamie Foxx in there that I do not remember. Only 6.3 on IMDb. Mm-hmm. And I have to call out right now that I recall this very fondly. And I've spoken to a number of people who also recall it very fondly. I am of the impression that it was the rare romantic comedy which was both genuinely funny and genuinely touching. What's your memory?
Yeah, my memory, I mean, I've definitely seen it. I saw it, I suspect, maybe certainly not in the cinema, but I think I would have watched it on video shortly afterwards. See, I had an enormous crush on Janine Garofalo.
Yep, we'll
and
get
so
to that.
And what if I know what you're going to say then, which is this is very much a Rachael Leigh Cook situation where Yeah, the broad concept of the movie, if I recall correctly, was that Uma Thurman was ridiculously gorgeous and Janine Garofalo was sort of the dumpy mate.
Indeed.
Whereas, in fact, the truth was the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Just Janine, I mean, I love Uma Thurman. She was great as well. She is beautiful. But yeah, Janine Garofalo I had an enormous crush on her. And so as a result, I was like, this movie makes no sense from the start. But look, I remember it being good. For some reason, I remember one particular moment. They had some, all of the issues or whatever the issues were that I can't even remember. And then they're like, what are we going to do about this? And someone says, let's get drunk. And then they'd have a big drunken scene and yeah.
That solves everything.
Yeah, and that's for all
in the 90s.
Exactly. But I've got to say, that's about the extent of my memory. I do remember it being good, but maybe not as good as you're remembering it, because it don't sort of, I remember liking it, but not ever thinking of watching it again.
No, I definitely saw it twice, but not in 20 and a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I remember specifically picking it up again a few years after watching it the first time and it reconfirming that I thought it was really clever and really funny. So I've now got dangerous expectations that I will really like it. Yeah, the great mystery of Janine Garofalo. Someone so pretty, so funny, this vanished. Well, she vanished away from things I watched. Yeah. But I know she was on like the Larry Sanders Show or whatever that show was called or something, wasn't she? The Larry David Show, whatever that was.
No, the Larry Sanders Show, right? I think, yeah.
Which I never watched, but I knew that she was on that. And I'm aware of her in almost nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, you're broadly right. I certainly don't recall her being in anything for the last 10 or 15 years. I mean, I remember... I
was wondering if maybe she was writing. Like, she's a comic, and so she was writing rather than starring.
I mean, or just doing stand-up comedy.
Okay,
I think that was her sort of first thing, and I don't think she ever stopped doing that. What was the Ben Stiller movie that she was a main character in? The one with the sort of the superheroes, the anti-heroes? I was
picturing that one. I know the one you're talking about.
Because I think...
Mystery Men
or Mystery Men, yeah. I remember that being relatively late in the piece. Because when did Romy Michelle's High School Reunion fit into that?
Of course, she was in that, wasn't she?
She was
seminal again. That's comparable time period.
I think that might have been, I'm going to say 97 maybe.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Where was Uma's career at that stage?
So Uma was... that would have been right about the same time as Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction was earlier. Pulp Fiction was when we were at high school. Yep. So it must have been just post Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I think Pulp Fiction might have been 93. And what did you say this was, sorry?
96.
Oh, okay, yep.
But this is pre-Kill Bill. So it's somewhere in that window.
Yep.
The director's a guy by the name of Michael Lerman, who I went, I've never heard of him. Loads of TV. Mm-hmm. 40 Days and 40 Nights with Josh Hartnett.
Yep.
Hudson Hawk with Bruce Willis. And wait for it, Heathers.
Oh, right.
Directed Heathers, which would have been the second movie in this podcast series if it wasn't in the 80s. It's like homage. So many movies come from Heathers. So mixed career, like some highs and what I would call some lows there.
I quite genuinely thought the Hudson Hawk was the best movie I'd ever seen when I went and saw it.
This feels unlikely.
I know. I'm scared to ever go back to watch it, given that it's generally regarded as one of the worst movies of all time. I'm genuinely scared. I feel like I'll just let it live in my consciousness as a masterpiece.
Just another note, it's really hard to find the truth about cats and dogs. Like, I have found where we can find it. Mm-hmm. I'm going to break it to you. It's going to cost you a few bucks.
Oh, no.
But anyway, I have confirmed that it's findable. But I think this is one of these weird reasons why, relative to how good I thought it was, it doesn't come up at all. So, have I got this badly wrong? Has it dated horrendously? I don't really understand this.
Wow. We will find out. I'm interested to find out.
Indeed, we will. And next time.
All right. Until then.
Very nice.